The numbers are segmented and they are fictitious.
I started my career in 1997 in the United States Border Patrol. It was one of the most violent times in recent Border Patrol history. I made my bones and my reputation on that border. I believe what is happening on the border today is intentional.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
Our own government is facilitating the absolute destruction of the American immigration system, and I can prove it point by point. I'm unafraid to speak the truth. This is just data-driven and experience-driven.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back. This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again. And we have ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good. And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back. And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America. With no end in sight, the United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense, with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. $2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that.
Welcome to Truth with J.J. Carrell. I can't get enough of that man. He mocks them. He tells them exactly what they have to hear. Look, there are days where I put together a show or I begin to think about what I'm going to say, or I give a speech on Saturday in St. Louis at a Republican Lincoln Days dinner. And I know what I have to say, and I know that what I'm going to say is uncomfortable and things that people don't want to hear. And sometimes I question, like, okay, man, what are we going to do? How are we going to say this? And then I sit here on Tuesday night and I watch that man stand before his enemy, stand before tens of millions of Americans and probably over 1 billion people across the globe watching him. And he speaks the truth. He is the example. He gives me, just like on the first day he was, when he was inaugurated, his speech, he infuses me with not only confidence, but he makes me feel as if I have an obligation. I have an obligation. And I really think it's binary. I think it's you either are going to shut up and be a coward and be part of the problem, or you're going to speak the truth. I've always been this way in my whole life. Very black and white. No middle ground for me. I'm all in or I'm all out. There's no other. Either I love it or I just don't care. And it's just the way I'm built. I know it. It's the way I'm wired. But it is refreshing and it is encouraging and it is uplifting. And it also is empowering in the sense that you have to do this because that man's doing it. And part of when I give speeches, I get the question all the time. Anybody have any questions and answers? Yeah, I have one. What do we do? And my answer is be bold. At the very minimum, you don't have to write books. You don't have to have a show on Worldview Tube. You don't have to be bold and speak the truth. When people are telling you men can have babies, when people are telling you the borders they're completely secure, when people tell you that there are 157 genders and the federal government is really great and they're helping, you have an obligation. You call yourself a conservative, you call yourself a Republican, or you just call yourself an American. You have an obligation to be like that man was on Tuesday night and speak the truth. Be that man on Inauguration Day when the complete enemy was standing behind him on the left side of his left side. They hate him. They try to put him in jail. They had him arrested, mugshot, try to put his children in jail, try to kill him twice that we know of, impeached him multiple times, try to take his business, made him pay some crazy lunatic lady like $50 million. And he stood in the face of all the evil and said the truth. And that's what we need to do. God makes us do that. God wants us to do that. He wants us to be honest and truthful. How do you think, America, we got to this point in our history where men can have babies, that the president-elect in his inauguration speech has to make a declarative statement there's two genders? Think about that. Think about you 10 years ago hearing that there are two genders. You would think, what's wrong with that, man? Why would anyone even have to say that out loud? That's how far we've come. How do we get here? Because we, the American public, has been impotent, has been cowardly, scared of losing, afraid of losing their friends on Facebook or their TikTok account or being banned on YouTube. What I love about Donald Trump, there's many, many things, but the one that that is the most powerful to me is he is the example of how we're supposed to speak. We're looking, he's speaking directly to evil. The evil that tried to kill him is trying to kill us. They're trying to censor him or trying to censor us, trying to make him lose his money and his prestige and his power and his authority. They're trying to take whatever money we have left, whatever power we have in our life, whatever influence we have in our life. They're trying to take it away. Don't think so? Go ask people that CPS takes their kids away. Go ask somebody that's been censored. Go ask some journalist or some writer, author that's been censored and lost his money. I know a friend that just got ousted from a company, six-figure job because of what he posted on X, and it's all truth. When you have evil and they're trying to kill and destroy you, civility's out the window. Don't tell me about your fantasy Jesus and your fantasy God that wants to turn the other cheek. I don't believe that propaganda. I don't believe it, not for a second. I've watched priests, pastors, I've watched them all manipulate scripture. There's no way in hell that our God, the most powerful being in the world, expects you to be a coward. He's not saying turn the other cheek when someone's trying to kill you. He's not saying turn the other cheek when your children are being abused and neglected. He's not telling you to turn the other cheek when they're raping your wife. He's not telling you to turn the other cheek when they're stealing all your money, driving out your drive port with your car. He's not telling you to turn the other cheek when they make you lose your job so you cannot support and feed your family. Do not fall for the propaganda lies of this world, because we have been lied to for decades. What we need to do is understand we have a righteous God that demands you become strong. He demands you to have a spine. He demands you to stand in front of evil and call it out. And God placed that man, Donald Trump, in the most dangerous, the most frustrating, the most ingrateful job in the history of the world, the President of the United States. And he's not backing down. He's the shield to us. They hate him, not because they hate Trump, because they hate you. They hate you, you unwashed masses of deplorables in baskets. That's who they hate. Trump is just a symbol of us, the unwashed masses. All the Democrats cheered. The only time they cheered the whole entire night was for funding for Ukraine. Not a 13-year-old boy that has brain cancer, not Lake and Riley's family, not anyone, not the greatness of America. All they stood up for and cheered was for Ukraine. The Democrats are dead men walking. They just don't know it. We must be strong in the face of evil. Do not mistake their flags, their colors, their inclusivity as anything except Satan walking this earth. I've said this many times in my shows now. I don't talk about good and evil anymore. That's sophomoric. It is God versus Satan. And if you don't think Satan is walking this earth, you're an absolute fool. An absolute fool. 5 years ago, not 500 years ago, 10 years ago, not 1,000 years ago. If I told you there was 157 genders, you would think I had two heads. If I told you in the future, in 5 or 10 years, we're going to mutilate young boys and girls' bodies. We're going to mutilate them, meaning we're going to rip their genitals off. We're going to rip the breast off of young girls. We're going to create Frankensteins. We're going to have puberty blockers. We're going to dress up our little toddlers in opposite sex and make them believe that they are not a boy or a girl. You would think I was insane, a crazed conspiracy theorist. If I told you that transgender men with fake breasts, half naked, would be doing lap dances and gyrating in front of people, in front of kids, where kids were putting money in their G-strings and people were clapping, calling that diversity. You would think I'm crazy. If I told you 10 years ago into the future, you would have men dressing up as women in dresses, teaching your kids in school. That the teachers would hide the fact that your child was transitioning and never tell you. You would think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. If I told you 10 years ago that Roe v. Wade would be overturned and it would just go down to the states and that women would be hysterical, they would coalesce and all they would care about is the ability to kill, to murder their children. When you break it down to that, women that all they want to do is kill their children. Are you telling me that's not satanic? Come on. Somebody prove me wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to live in fantasy land, and I want to not have to do shows like this. Come on, tell me. Anybody, any listener or audience member, please send me a text, call me. This is God versus Satan, and Satan's roaming freely on this earth. I don't care if you believe in God or not. I don't care anything. This is what I believe in the depths of my soul. And I believe the Democrat Party is evil. Absolutely without. And to a lesser degree, the Republican Party. That man standing on that stage, giving a State of the Union, he's not a Republican. That's not a Republican. Republican is synonymous with Democrats. There's no difference. It's a uniparty. And I'll prove my point. And my point is very simple to prove. Name me one American politician in the Republican Party, state, local, federal, that could stand in his position on that dais up there and give that speech. Go ahead, name me one. You think the Speaker of the House, that little mousy man, you think he would be able to stand up there with authority? The answer is no. No. J.D. Vance, who I think is an up-and-comer, I like him, still got a lot to prove. You think he could do what Trump does? No. Who are you going to put up there? Mitch McConnell? Lindsey Graham? Who are you going to put up there? Ted Cruz? I like Ted Cruz. He can't do that. No one could do what Trump does. He's outside the party system. He's us. He's MAGA. He's America first. And we need to back him every chance we get. And that's at the very local level. At the very baseline of your existence, you must be bold and you must be strong in your convictions. Just look at him. He's the example. He's the example. Our sponsor today is Bella Grace. Shop bellagrace.com/truth. I'm waiting. I think I got my email today, and I should get it tomorrow. My products will be delivered. The elixir, which has the collagen in it, I'm taking that. I ordered it for my wife as well. My wife Connie, she and I are both going to take it, and we're going to see. I can't wait. And if I don't see the results, I'm going to tell you. I don't feel anything. If I do, I'm going to let you know. As we get older, our collagen leaves our bodies. And by the time we're older, as I'm getting older, it diminishes to a significant decrease. Go to shopbellagrace.com/truth. Shopbellagrace.com/truth. And the other product they have an absolute multitude of products. Skincare, as Dr. Lucky said when he was on last week, it is for your digestion. It is for your gut. Everything good and bad comes from your gut. And this is just like a squeeze pack. I told my wife when I was trying to explain to her, I said, it's a little pack. Remember when our son used to get his applesauce in that squeeze pack? I said, it's just like that, but smaller. And the other thing that I have, and I can't wait to get, is the restorative sleep, because my mind races. I watched Donald Trump give a speech. It ends at about 9:30, 10 o'clock my time, and all I can do is think about what he said, and my mind's spinning. And sometimes I need something that's all natural, that's not addictive, that will rest my mind and help me go to sleep. Go to Bella Grace, shop bellagrace.com/truth. Staying on this, we know this congressman by the name of the Pimp is Congressman Green with his pimp cane, his gold handle pimp cane. Who is Congressman Green? I'm sure you all know who he is because he is the wolf man that got removed from the chambers. I will give Speaker Johnson something. He is actually getting a little spine as he stands behind the big alpha lion and he kicks Green out. Watch this.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you.
The pimp, Al Green, with his pimp cane. I mean, he's ridiculous. The Democrats have no idea that they're dead man walking. No idea. They're absolutely clueless to the fact that they are on the wrong side of history, and no one cares. I'll give you a great example. Even CNN, the approval was in the 60s and 70%. CNN, so you know that's skewed. Conservative markets were saying that it was in the high 70s, low 80s. The approval rate. When's the last time Americans approved of anything over 50%? Like never. Because Donald he's telling you the truth. The truth is we had the worst president in the history of America. The economy sucks. They opened the border to destroy America. Crime is rampant. He's talking about tariffs. People don't like tariffs. Did you hear him in that speech that some countries are charging us 4 times the tariff? Our cars being sold in some countries are 100% tariffs on that. Why would we allow people to come sell products in America, then turn around and won't let us sell products there? Why would you do that? The whole world should be a marketplace for the United States of America. And if the whole world doesn't want to allow us to shop, then you can't sell in our country. If we can't buy freely, we can't sell our stuff into your country freely, then you can't sell in our country freely. Simple as that. Listen to the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. I hope I always say her name wrong, her last name. Incredible young woman, mother. Listen to what she says, and I love it. She's like Trump. Just speak the truth, hit them between the eyes because they are evil and they are also grossly stupid. So just punch them verbally right between the eyes. Go ahead.
The behavior of Democrats last night was completely disgraceful and demonstrated how severely out of touch they are with the American public. It was the most shameful moment in the history of presidential addresses in that beautiful chamber. In what was supposed to be a unifying moment for our country, Democrat members of Congress instead screamed at the President of the United States, who was just overwhelmingly reelected by their constituents, walked out of the chamber, and worst of all, they disrespected the American people. Democrats didn't stand to keep men out of women's sports, They couldn't even clap for a girl who got her head smashed in by a man on a volleyball court. Democrats didn't stand for an innocent and beautiful child who is surviving brain cancer. They opposed eliminating taxes on tips and Social Security. They didn't stand in favor of cutting taxes for hardworking Americans. They couldn't even clap for two mothers whose daughters were killed by illegal aliens. One of the only things that could get Democrats off their feet last night was cheering for Ukraine, not for America. Last night was a very clarifying moment for our country. The Democrats exposed themselves as the party of insanity and hate, the party that wants to put America last. They've allowed their Trump derangement syndrome to stop them from celebrating America and our people, and we will not allow them to forget that. And it's not just the Democrat Party. The mainstream media still doesn't get it. Last night, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace disgustingly looped in a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer into an attack on the president over January 6th. And CNN's first chyron out of the speech called it divisive. President Trump wasn't divisive. The Democrats were. And CNN was proven wrong by their own viewers, 69% of whom, in a post-speech poll, said they had a positive reaction to the president's speech. It's sad and frankly pathetic that Democrats and liberals in the legacy media continue to allow their hatred for the president to override their love for our country. But nevertheless, the president will continue to unify this nation through policies that are grounded in common sense and that uplift all Americans.
I believe the midterm election is going to be an absolute destruction of the Democrats. I believe it. I think it's also going to be a complete demolition of the rhinos. I do. I think you're going to see a MAGA wave. I just do it. I believe it. You got rid of the Romney cabal. Now you just have the hardcore Republicans, the real Republicans, the Romney, the McConnell, the Graham, the Ryan. They're gone. They're gone. They're as dead as the Democrats. And they know it. You know how we know this is true about the Republicans? Lindsey Graham. Lindsey, don't ask, don't tell Graham. Absolutely changed sides on Ukraine, literally within seconds. Now he's on our side. He's never going to be on our side. But he's the example of when you understand that the rhinos, understand where their place is. They're dead. They don't exist. Mitch McConnell, all those people, they're done. They're just done. The Democrats are done. Who's going to go and vote for the Wolfman pimp? What about the Somali? She's taken off of everything now, and rightfully so, and she should be arrested for immigration fraud for marrying her brother. I'm talking about Ilhan Omar from Little Mogadishu, Minnesota. That's what they call it, Little Mogadishu. Sounds like a wonderful place that I would love to settle in and move my family to. They need to be marginalized, and they will be. They will be so small, they are going to become insignificant in the House and the Senate. Watch, mark my words, timestamp this. Please timestamp it. Our other sponsor is Pet Club 24/7, Pet Club 247. Great husband and wife team owners, Kurt and Kristen. They're incredible, Christian, believe in God's natural order. They believe, wait for it, they believe that God has given us everything we need here on earth. Wow, what a unique perspective. Are you telling me I don't need Moderna and Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, to give me something that will make me feel better? No. A natural mushroom that they have found with hundreds of peer review articles, hundreds of testimonials. And it's for your pets, your horses, and humans. My favorite tagline. I gave my dog Cinnamon her mojos today. Loves them. Her immune system looks great. Her hair looks great. She looks healthy. It's because for a while I was giving her big box store treats, and I would hold them in my hand. They're like bones, and I'm like, this is like plastic, like hard. This can't be good for my dog. And I was right. It's not. And I take it every day before I come on. This is my green bottle. I call it the green bottle. I take it in capsule form. Go to Pet Club 24/7 or just go with truthwithjj247.com, truthwithjj247.com. And I play this commercial every day, and I'm going to play it. I'm going to keep playing it because the end is what I love. In fact, maybe I'll just put the ending on like a 30-second loop, and we'll just watch that because there's nothing more loving to me than seeing a father and a son playing together. Love it. Go ahead and play that commercial, please. Love it. Father and son makes me think about my son as a little kid where he would beg me to continue to read him another book or as he would say, more time, Dad, more time, meaning one more time, to now I get the, hey, yeah, Dad, it's time you got to get out of my room. I got to read. I got to do stuff. Please, you got to leave. I'm like, holy smokes. What happened to my little dude? He's always going to be my little dude. But time is moving fast. All right. I want to get back. But before I get back, I got to promote. People tell me I got to promote more my book. They're like, you got to promote. And I don't like to promote my stuff. I really don't. But I have a new book out called Treason. It has been out for about 3 weeks, and it has, for at least the first, I want to say almost 18 days, 19 days, it was a bestseller list. Multiple categories bestseller. It's a top new release. It's going in and out of being a bestseller on Amazon. I'm proud of it. I am. And I talked about the validation in the beginning. I believe this validates me. Of what Donald Trump is saying right now, and USAID being uncovered from Doge validates everything I wrote in Treason. Everything I wrote in Treason is happening right now. All the treason is manifesting now, and Donald Trump's having to deal with it. So it validates what I wrote, which is I don't know if it's exciting. I don't even know the right word, right? Because I'm not excited about the fact that I said people are traitors and it's coming out that they're traitors. I don't think anybody is happy about that. But I do believe what I wrote is not only true, it's actually being validated in real time. So if you're interested in it, go to Amazon.com and type in Treason JJ and it pops right up. All right, enough about me. Let's go. We had a hearing yesterday, and you know how much I love congressional hearings, how much I know it's an absolute waste of time because I know nothing's going to happen. However, more validation. I write a whole chapter on sanctuary cities, and I write a chapter on these, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 3 of these morons, excluding the really dumb lady that's the Mayor Wu of Boston. I only have X amount of pages I can write. So I chose Mayor Johnson from Chicago, who is the dumbest of the 3, Mayor Adams, the second dumbest from New York, and Mayor Johnston from Denver. And they were brought in front of Congress, as you can imagine, the Congress. What a waste of time. But they were brought in front of Congress to Answer Congress about their sanctuary city. Now, their sanctuary city status. Now, I'm going to pull up the very first guy I want you to see, and I don't know this guy. He's Representative Gary Palmer. But I will say this about Gary Palmer. I've never heard you before, but I am now a fan. Play this.
All took an oath of office. Mr. Adams, did you swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States?
Yes, I do.
How about you, Mayor Johnson?
Yes, sir, I did.
How about you, the other Mayor Johnson?
Yeah, the Constitution of the United States as well as the Constitution of Illinois.
Okay, and Mayor,
yes.
You did. Are you familiar with the Supremacy Clause? Any of you?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Then under the Supremacy Clause, you understand that the laws of the United States take precedent over the laws of Colorado, over the laws of Illinois, over the laws of Massachusetts, and your cities. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
But when you declared your cities sanctuary cities, you did so illegally. Do you understand that?
Respectfully, sir, I would disagree with that. We follow
You're disagreeing with the law. It's against the law to give sanctuary to people who have committed felonies, and it's a felony to cross the border legally. You gave sanctuary to people who are here illegally. You violated your oath to uphold the Constitution because of the Supremacy Clause. The laws of the United States take preference. But you didn't do that.
There is, thank you, sir. There's no part of our city law that violates federal law. No part of the practices or services we provided that violate federal law.
Did you personally violate the law then by giving sanctuary? Somebody gave these people sanctuary. You declared your city. The city of Boston was declared a sanctuary city by you, Mayor.
Being a sanctuary city as you describe it, or being a city as we describe it, that's home for everyone, does not. It means that if you commit a crime, you're held accountable
to people who are here illegally,
status.
and when you interfere with the officers of the law who are there to even remove people that you know have committed crimes, you have violated your oath of office. You've committed a crime, Mr. Chairman. I don't understand why we haven't been discussing obstruction of justice.
Yeah, that's what I like to know, Chairman. And a Republican chairs it, so I want to know why, Chairman. Why haven't we made arrests yet? I think it's a very valid question. Thank you, Representative, because that needs to be asked. Where are you Republicans? Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? Because you can't trust Republicans. There are very few people that I trust in the Republican Party, and this man right here, Representative Donalds, is someone I do trust. But I would also caution. I think these men are becoming very bold, which I applaud and I encourage to continue because Donald Trump is the example. Listen to Donalds as he just tears these three simpletons apart.
Did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around $79 million since 2022.
$79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because we don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone...
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you?
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing mayor.
Which is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that was sent from us from the state of Texas.
How much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number. And if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
$6.9 billion of taxpayers'
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
services. You don't
services,
ask about how much money the city of Boston has spent on illegal immigration? Are you out of your mind?
We don't distinguish between immigration status.
Do you manage your budget or not, Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep our city
Mayor Wu,
safe.
do you manage your budget or not?
We have the numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
the city of Boston.
The city of
is
Boston.
Sick of having people outside Boston telling us what
Mr.
we
Bear, I have
need.
a question for you because I understand Cato's perspective when it comes to illegal immigration. I understand that the Cato Institute for a long time has had a standard of actually having open immigration into the United States. Generally speaking, I don't want to get into specifics.
We support legal immigration. We want immigration to be legal.
So let me ask you this question, because one of the great libertarians of the modern era, Milton Friedman, famously said, you can either have open borders or a welfare state, but you have to choose. Mr. Beer, what do you choose?
Milton Friedman said he wanted to allow illegal immigration to continue. I disagree with Milton Friedman's position on that. We should have legal immigration and build a wall around the welfare state, not around the country. That's in the best interest of taxpayers.
And I would argue that under the current system where you have sanctuary cities popping up, it is not possible to build that wall. So America has to choose. Mr. Beer, you're done. America has to choose between securing our nation or protecting the taxpayer. I choose secure the nation. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Mr. Bell.
That is how you talk to people. That's how you talk to the enemy. You are contempt. You show them absolute contempt, and you won't tolerate their stupidity, not for a second. Cato Institute. Let's build a wall around the welfare system, but not a wall around our borders. We should allow everyone in, right, Cato? All the terrorists, all the soldiers, all the murderers, all the gang members, all the pedophiles, all that. Yeah. That, you see, I can't stand it, right? I can't. As a dude like I am, I can't stand those beta males. That guy someone breaks into his house, breaks into his car, he's going to be screaming for men like me to come help him. He's no way in hell owns a gun. He no way in hell knows how to defend himself. He is gutless. We'd find him, after that, we'd probably find him on Libs of TikTok after someone breaks into his house. He's disgusting. And as for those other morons, those other four, they're lying. And I dictated in my book. You know the only person that didn't lie? The only person that didn't lie was Mayor Adams. $6.9 billion. $6.9 billion on illegal aliens. Chicago says, well, about maybe 80, 100 billion, 100 million. Oh, really? No, sir. You spent billions of dollars. Billions. Your state has spent billions of dollars. He's lying. I have it in my book, Treason. Absolutely lying. Another liar, Johnston, mayor of Denver, 79 million. You're a liar. You have over $150 million in expenditures just from healthcare alone, sir. You had one of your aides in your office who is Hispanic that speaks Spanish tell people in a meeting, get out of our city because we can't give you anything and life is going to be hard for you because we're going to have to cut. We've run out of money. You were already on the hook, Denver, for about $382 million, and I believe that's grotesquely a lie. But that's what the data shows, not $79 million. Get real, man. Get real. The city of Chicago got a loan for, I think it was $1.2 billion, 1.5, somewhere in that range. A loan. For what? To take care of illegal aliens, of course. You can't make this stuff up. Mayor Wu, is she the epitome of stupidity? And I watch her as a Catholic with your ashes sprawled on your forehead. You have to show us your ashes. I don't mind getting your ashes, but I also believe in the God and Jesus that taught about stop being like the Pharisees and the elders and making yourself stand out. Why don't you just show us through your actions? So, Miss Wu, why don't you take a washcloth and wipe the gigantic cross off your forehead that is an affront to Jesus and in your Catholic faith? And why don't you take care of your citizens, your residents, instead of taking care of illegal aliens. And let me give my audience just one example of you, Miss Wu, of your stupidity and your evil. So there was an illegal alien. It doesn't matter. It was from Honduras or Guatemala or Costa Rica. Who cares, right? It's all the same. Central America. He was arrested for raping children. Raping a woman of age is horrific enough, but this savage was raping children. So what was Mayor Wu's response? Well, that was to release that individual, not call ICE, not make that person a bond where no bond, no bail. We're keeping this savage in custody. Nope. No. Let him walk right out the door the same night. And I can go on and on and on and on about what Mayor Wu's done with criminals, just criminals. Those other three morons. Mayor Adams is begging the federal government for money, begging, because his city's going to go in complete chaos as he's going to have to empty out all of the hotels, all of the shelters. I don't know if you've seen the video of a known, confirmed Tren de Aragua gang member being released from the Denver jail. Let them release him onto the street as 6 ICE officers, 6 to 8 officers have to chase him down in the parking lot where the suspect was tased multiple times. Agents fell down on a rocky gravel road chasing someone when they could have just held him in a detention space. I would have walked in as a federal agent and placed my cuffs on him, and no taser, no one's falling down, no one's in danger. But no, you care about illegal aliens. You all are traitors. Every last one of you are traitors, and you need to be dealt that way. Here's a congressman that reams them. However, I have no faith in this guy, zero faith, because I know this guy, Jim Jordan, paraded in at least 3 FBI whistleblowers that I know personally, paraded them out, abused them, and then did nothing to help them. Nothing. They're whistleblowers. You can't be fired. You can't be suspended. It's called the Whistle Protection Act, the Whistleblower Protection Act. For God's sake, follow the law. But this guy is great at not wearing a jacket, being on Sean Hannity, and pontificating. But at least this guy got a little tough. Do I believe he's going to do anything? No, he will do zero. But I'll at least give him some credit for some harsh language. Go ahead and play Jim Jordan, please.
Who's Abraham Gonzalez?
Thank you, Congressman. He is a individual that was released from the county jail on Friday in the city and county of Denver.
That's all you know about him?
I do know that he was facing charges that the
Venezuelan gang member arrested by Border Patrol on September 20th, 2023, released into the country by the Biden administration. A few months later, he's arrested in your city, charged with aggravated assault. On March 11th, 2024, he's charged with motor vehicle theft, stole a car, and then on March 20th, 2024, Mr. Gonzalez is charged with felony menacing. 6 days after that last charge, I send you a detainer, which includes an administrative warrant. Basically, it says if you're going to release this bad guy, this gang member who allegedly stole a car, menaced people, and assaulted people, give us a 48-hour heads up. Is that right? Does that refresh your memory?
I do know about the detainer request. I do know that we provided a notification of release.
What kind of notice did you give ICE when you released him?
We gave him notification. I'm not sure how long in advance it was. I do know that.
1 hour.
I do know that there was
1 hour notice, and you released him 5 days ago, right? Why not give him more heads up? Actually, let's put the slide up. Let's see what it says here. Let's put the slide up. This is what the Denver Sheriff's Department, it's kind of hard to see, so I'll read it. It says, Denver Sheriff Department, ICE notification being released to the streets. I simply said, just release him to us. You release him to the streets. Why not release him to ICE?
Thank you. What we've done, and we do this regularly, we've done 1,226 of these, is we notify
I'm
us.
asking about one. I'm not asking about the other 1,200. I'm asking about Mr. Abraham Gonzalez, who's a gang member from Venezuela, stole a car, assaulted someone. You had him in your custody for how long?
I know that we released
345 days you had him in custody. And I said, hey, can you give us 48 hours heads up?
I don't know.
You gave him 1 hour notice.
Mr. Congressman, we notified them of release. There were 6 ICE agents present when he was released, so they had enough time to respond and to be present.
Respond where?
To the jail where we released him from. So we released him we notified them of the release time. When we notify them of release, they come to the jail facility to pick them up.
Why didn't you say that's not what you said? You said you released him to the streets. Did you release him to the streets? You release him to ICE?
What we do, sir, is we release him from our county jail, and we coordinate with ICE on that release time and release date so that ICE can come and pick them up from that location.
Pick them up where? In the parking lot?
Yes, sir. They're on the facility property.
Guess what happened in the parking lot?
I know, sir. I've reviewed the video. So I looked at it. I've talked to the sheriff last night.
One of the ICE officers got assaulted, didn't he?
I reviewed the video,
They had to tase the guy, didn't they?
Would you like me to answer, sir?
No, I'd like you to answer. Did they tase him?
I know that there were 6 officers that had multiple tasers. I saw the
So they had
on
6
video.
officers. If you keep him in the facility and they come in the facility and get him, does it take 6 officers? Probably takes 2, doesn't it?
So we've been doing these, as I mentioned, 1,226 times. This is the first time I've been made aware of there's been an incident like this. So I reached out to ICE after I saw the video. I've coordinated with their team and offered to sit down and see if there are procedures we can change.
It's a simple
make sure
question.
this works smoothly.
It's a simple question. You can release him in the parking lot, give ICE 1 hour notice, and they got to send 6 officers to arrest this guy. Or you can say, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hold him. You come in and bring 2 officers in, and you turn him over there. Why not do it that way?
We have a city
ordinance. You know why you don't do it that way?
We have a city ordinance that governs.
Because you're a sanctuary city. This is the whole point.
No, sir, I disagree with you.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll tell you why. If you talk about sanctuary as a definition of shielding people from law enforcement, we do not do that. What we do is provide services. In this context, what we did is we coordinated the release.
An officer got assaulted because of your policy, which says we're going to release him to, in your words, not mine, to the streets. They have to arrest him in the parking lot. They bring 6 officers when they could have had 1 or 2 just come in your facility, in the jail, and take the guy there. But you won't do it that way.
I've seen the video. I've reached out to ICE. I've offered to sit down and coordinate on strategies. If we need to make adjustments to what we do on releases, we'll do that. This is the first time in the 1,226 releases I've heard of this.
I read your written testimony last night. I read your written testimony last night. 4.5 pages. And you used the words safe, safer, or safety 13 times. Talking about my job is to protect the safety of the people in Denver. We prioritizing making sure everyone in our community is safe. That's a lie. Because it was not safer for the ICE agents who are part of your community. No way was it safer. The safest thing to do is to say, ICE, we got him in custody. Come here, we're releasing. We held him 345 days. We can't hold him a second longer. We can't wait for you to come inside the building. We got to let him go, so you have to arrest him in the parking lot. That is how stupid sanctuary policies are and what they mean to the community that you put at risk and to the ICE officers officer who was assaulted, and they had to use a taser on the. It's not good.
Mr. Chairman, Mayor Johnston from Denver is a moron. That's the same guy that said, "I'm going to bring Highland Moms." It's a neighborhood in outside of Denver suburb. We're going to bring the Highland Moms. Are going to stand like a Tiananmen Square. You're an idiot. You're a jackass. You're everything I hate. Agents have to go chase somebody in the parking lot because you won't allow us into your facility to place handcuffs on a savage gang member. Here's an up and rising star. I say that with absolute caution because I want to see some action, and that is Congresswoman Luna. Can you play this video about, this is the last one on sanctuary cities, and she calls for arrest. I want to see this. I want to see this manifest into reality. Please play her, please.
So you don't believe that banning the transfer of individuals into ICE custody for the purpose of civil immigration enforcement encourages illegal immigration into Chicago? Or how about agencies, or agents not being able to stop, arrest, or detain individuals based solely on their immigration status or administrative warrant?
So we comply with all laws, local, state, and federal.
To me, after this line of questioning, it's very clear that these policies that you have all implicated are active and alive and well in your cities, are in direct violation with U.S. Title 8 Code subsection 1324, and is a federal offense. But you all speak about a broken immigration system, and yet here you guys are aiding and abetting in that entire process. I want to be very clear about something. Open border policies, which is something that you guys are talking about, hurts people on both sides, meaning the people that are coming here illegally and then American citizens as well. I do not think you guys are bad people, but I think that you are ideologically misled, which is why, unfortunately, based on your responses, I'm all going to be criminally referring you to the Department of Justice for investigation. And as soon as I leave here, these will be going over to Pam Bondi. I'm not doing that in an effort to bully you guys, but I do believe that your policies are hurting the American people, and you can make that known with the evidence that you can present to the Department of Justice. But if you guys continue doing what you're doing, you're not going to help anyone. You're going to hurt more people, and that's exactly why I'm tired of it. The American people are tired of it. And Chairman, I yield my time.
Would you yield your last minute?
Yes, sir.
Finally, why is it only the women that have the courage to do what needs to be done instead of just a bunch of harsh words? Will those arrest warrants go anywhere? I don't know. Investigation? I don't know. But at least she's doing something. Will Pam Bondi do something? Will she bungle it like she did Epstein? I don't know. I don't know. But I do know, after listening to those mayors and thinking about staying up at night writing that chapter on those morons, that there are times where I need a nap and I need my pillow. I love to segue into that. I get tired. I get exhausted dealing with these morons and writing about them because their stupidity is exhausting. So I go to mypillow.com, promo code JJ, mypillow.com. And why I love MyPillow is because it is Mike Lindell's company. Made in America, by Americans, shipped to Americans. Everything is here in America. What could absolutely go wrong with that? I am huge on supporting American businesses. I don't want a pillow from China. I have no idea what has been done to it. I don't want to buy toys when my son was young from China. I don't want to buy my medicine from China. I don't want to buy anything from third world countries. I don't want to buy anything that is not American. I want to keep it all in-house. So go to mypillow.com, promo code JJ. I have about a dozen of those MyPillows in my house. I love them. All our sheets, all our towels, all our slippers, everything is Mike Lindell. Man, that show went by fast. I'm looking at my clock down here, and it's got a minute and a half left. How long is this one? I'm going to look at this video and just make sure I have how long it is.
This is my fifth.
You know what? Can you go ahead and play about 45 seconds of this video, the last one, Caleb, the one that says mock them all? Because this is what I think we need to do. Mock them all the time. And this guy does an amazing impersonation on all of them. Can you play 40 seconds of that, please?
This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer.
I saw that. I got to play it because I believe I'm going to take the lead, because I take the lead of Donald Trump because I believe in what he does. Speak boldly. Never apologize. Be patriotic. And mock them. Mock them all the time, all day, and all night, because they have destroyed our country we're trying to rebuild.
You are watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House.